Hi everyone, welcome back. Lewis Botello here for another Learning Through the Lockdown video. Hope everyone's staying safe out there through these times. Today I'm going to give a video on short game, but before we get into that, just want to thank everyone that has subscribed to my channel. And for anyone out there who's watching my videos and they're liking them, let's hit that subscribe button. Let's see if we can get to 100 subscribers by Sunday. And also, if you've got any comments on what we're doing out here today, or alternatively, if you've got any video requests or anything that you guys would like to see in future videos, in that comment box below, let's get some ideas flowing and I can get some content moving along for you. So today we're out here in the backyard, and for everyone who can practice a little bit, maybe at home, let's say you've got a net or somewhere where you can chip, I just wanted to give you some basics on the chipping technique today. So the first thing I see, having a teaching academy and being able to diagnose a lot of problems, the first thing I'm going to talk about is what I see a lot with an incorrect chipping technique. I see people who get a little wide in their stance and they get a little too far away from it, much like they would do when they're hitting the full swing. What this starts to encourage is it starts to encourage a club that's going to work too circular. So you can see from here now, that club is behind my waist. This is going to be detrimental for two reasons. Number one, the heaviest end of the golf club is the head of the club. Now we know with chipping, we're working at head force. So what I mean by that, if I've got the heaviest end of the club behind me, two things are going to occur. When gravity takes effect, the head is going to want to fall down this way. It's going to want to fall behind our body, and our arms are going to want to flip coming into the golf ball. The second thing we see, and this is where it's really important, as we start to see the heavy end of the club drop behind us, we can't rotate correctly now. If we tried to rotate efficiently, we would probably shank it and the club would go out to the right of the target. So what we start to see a right hip that wants to work towards the golf ball and a posture that wants to stand. So now what we're going to do is we're going to show you two very easy, simple things to change or to work on that will increase your strike. I personally think chipping, the most important thing is strike, because off of strike you can control distance, you can control how the club comes into the golf ball, and then finally how close we get it to the hole. So the first thing I like to do is I like to get a little narrow in my stance, and I like to put 70% of my weight through my left knee. If I switch this way with my new stance, the next thing I like to do is I like to draw my arms in, and I like to get the shaft a little more vertical. I'm going to explain why that's a huge key shortly. So now, with the shaft vertical, and I'm a little closer to it, you can see now as I move this club away, the club wants to move a little more vertical, and it stays out in front of my right hip. From here now, if I was to stop, that club would want to drop back onto the golf ball. Much like this. If I had the club in one hand and I lifted it up, the club's going to want to drop back to vertical. One more time. So we're lifting it. There's no force. I'm not dragging the club here. I'm just letting that club fall back to vertical. So that's what we're trying to achieve. Once the club comes up into this position, just being able to let that head fall onto the back of the golf ball. Now, when we're working with building in a hip rotation with that, let's focus on the left hip. So when I get into a more vertical position, I want you to start to feel, instead of the right hip working up, I want your left hip to feel like it's working behind with a fraction of a straightening of the left leg. So we get here, left hip is going to go behind, left leg's going to straighten slightly. That's my tip of the day. I hope everyone's having fun, and more importantly, staying safe.